City of Vernon Council meeting Tuesday, June 30th, 2023 at 5:30, something to order. Invocation, Kenny.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us all to be here tonight. Thank you for these young men who are here tonight representing our community. And we ask that you give them safe travels and help them to do their very best. We thank you for allowing our mayor to be back tonight, and we ask that you guide the council in all decisions to keep our community safe and let these storms that are coming our way dissipate. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Trey Hawkins.
That's what I'm talking about, Becky. That's why I love you.
I'm stretching off the time when you're out.
Yes, sir.
There's some pictures too. This is a little building that's out back, the old science building, back office old building. What it is I talked to Candace, I talked to Becky, and I think I talked to Mary. I haven't spoken to anyone else. Excuse me, guys, for rushing. I got a ball game out here in just a few minutes. The brick building's out back. It's next to the track. Power, me and Candace talked about it, and she knows the power has been cut to the building. It still has the water and sewer stubbed up through the, or water stubbed up through the floor, gas stubbed up through the floor, electric stubbed up through the floor. What I like to do is take the building and rent it, and convert it into an indoor hitting facility. Put turf on the floor, put back cages in the facility. We have one that my son and myself utilize in Mariana, at the Impact Sports. Last 2 weeks, the kids have got no repetitions at all in the baseball field due to weather. And it's something that impacts us all the time throughout the season. And you see the budget, my budget on the facility itself would be about a $25,000 investment out of my pocket. The rehab on it, I've got it budgeted around $8,400. Then I found out today it didn't have power going to the building too. So Candace said y'all had a quote from another electrician for $4,500 to have standalone power to the building, which would provide its own power bill in, taking off the city's power. We could work out a deal. We could work out a deal where I pay for it, and we'll just take it off the rent as the rent goes forward, or the city can pay for it, and then we'll just go start the first day with rent. I find stuff moves faster whenever an individual does it versus a municipality or a government entity. It just seems to slow everything down, and I'm right there in that boat. I'm a government entity with the county. We seem to make it harder on ourselves sometimes than too easy. So it'd be my suggestion to let me do it, and we'll work out a deal moving forward where whatever I spend, we take that off the rent, and then once we catch up that, so the city's got no money, then we'll start rent from that point going forward. This is something minimal to the city. I'll have my attorney and work with your attorney to put a lease together, and then we'll present it at your next council meeting. But before I go through the expenditure to have my attorney start drawing something up, I want to be sure it's something that y'all need to consider. The building's in good shape structurally wise. You see the graffiti with the pictures on the wall. It's going to take some work. Looks like someone come in and kind of gutted the electrical side on the back side of it. Luckily good enough I have people that can do that kind of work. That's what we do for a living. So, just really wanted to have a discussion with it before I start moving forward with making arrangements and start getting material gathered up with a supply chain, back cages or something that takes a little while to get. We'd have a nice facility here in Vernon, that we could utilize and the kids could utilize.
We have talked about leasing that building and several other rooms. My question is, we got insurance money to.
Right, and so you could put that insurance money towards, it was 13,000, I don't have the exact number with me, but that amount towards it because it's supposed to go to that building.
And that's when y'all need your insurance. I don't care however you want to do it. If y'all want to rehab it, absolutely fine. If you want to be rehabbing, y'all take that money and spend however you need to. I think the insurance, all they care about in the day is done. So that's something you and your attorney can work together and figure out how you wanna do it. I don't mind either way. I just don't want it to drag on 6 months of rehab instead of 2 months. of
But the
rehab.
money's there to do the electrical.
Yeah, so if you wanna get the electrical done,
Yeah.
whoever you got the quote for them, get them out, we'll get that done. Electrical's the biggest issue. There's still water coming through the floor, so that's gonna take some.
And the sewage is still there too, is it work?
Sir, ma'am,
Sewage is in there too, or you don't know?
I don't think it has a bathroom. Somebody said it had a bathroom. If it does, I don't know. Where's the bathroom in that locked door?
Yes,
or-
in the middle.
The one that's, it was pried open to stop it from draining, it's got pride marks on it, it got pushed right back, closed and locked.
Okay, so if you, okay.
So
That's
it
one
is a
door I
bathroom.
haven't got access to, so I didn't know if that was locked. So that'd be great. It'd have a
Yeah,
bathroom
it
in
does
it.
have
So
that.
we'll see until it's single.
But I'll have to figure out how to cut water, because all the old desk that was lined through it for the science lab has water spilled up to the floor. So we'll have to, that'll take a plumber to figure that out, but, you know, it's nothing that, we can't figure out the plumber how to get that, where we cut that out, make it a flush floor, get it in and get it level and put astroturf on it. We're gonna put a nice thick, millable astroturf, we're gonna take infill practice on it as well. You know, when I say infield practice, just some drills to get the kids where they can move around a little bit. And just trying to, I think you'll see what we've done at Shady Grove. Shady Grove don't look like the same ballpark. We playing ball games there 2 times a week. It's coming. When we get through with it, it'll be one of the nicest facilities in this area. Got our own bat cage now, own bullpen. Just have a locker room built behind the concession stand part. The old equipment locker, we're taking that out, closing, redoing the ceiling in it, putting wooden lockers in it for the 18, whenever you, or the 18 for middle school, you'll get a nameplate on your locker. So the B team won't have nameplate, they'll have something to work for till next year, so they're making goal oriented. The old locker, the old dugout that's set beside, further down third base line, that was space in the old farm league field when I was young. We're closing that in, and that would be the equipment room. So
Was that brick building, excuse me, that's what you're talking about?
the green building that's on that, we're closing that in and making equipment room. Get all your fertilizer and all that out of it so you don't have to smell. It's gonna be really, really nice. And we'll do the same thing back here. But I want to lease it. We'd like to have a long-term lease because of the investment, of course, long-term investment I'll put into it, so that we can assure that we have a place to grow athletes.
Sounds great.
It looks nice, I saw it.
Yeah.
Been out here.
Yeah. Excuse the playground area right now. I can't know it. It's 3 inches deep in water. Maybe it'll start raining one day. I'll be able to mow it again. I don't know. Or we'll get cows if they want to.
So if council's agreeable, then you could go ahead and draw something up and get it to our attorney.
I'll give your attorney so she can review it and have it for your next meeting. You good with that, Michelle? If y'all good with it, I'll move forward with that. That's all I need. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Miss Nikki, rec director.
Okay, first thing is I just wanted to say congratulations to them. This is our 12U All-Stars team that's going to state. They'll be representing us at Avon Park. They are, I'm hoping to say this right, District 3 Division II champs. So we're gonna take care of them at awards day with honoring them a little bit more, you know, with trophies and stuff. But I just kind of wanted the council to kind of present them with the flag that they're gonna have to take to state, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
The one y'all wanna come up here? Or all y'all come up?
Oh, this is sweet.
Mr. Paul, is picture better with it open or folded?
Probably just like that would be fine.
Excuse me?
I don't know how I'm going to line up here.
Yeah,
Whatever
just
Mr.
y'all
Ball
come all the way up against the dais here, just all the back right side.
Okay, you hide it.
I apologize, parents, kind of last minute, so I didn't let Mr. Paul know to bring his professional camera.
If I can figure out how to use this, we got a picture, not a
He
problem.
takes really great photos, but he didn't have a heads up.
Who do you want? Do you want somebody to actually award the flag? Are you gonna do it?
Yeah, but I didn't know if you wanted one of just the young men first.
No, let's go ahead
Miss Candace is gonna give it to them.
Who do I need to give it to?
and, them.
Just pick one, it don't matter. You can give it to my child, he'll be alright.
Like your mama and daddy combined, so I can.
Look here, Candace. Everybody look here.
No smile.
Well, if we take 15, we'll have one with everybody with their eyes open.
All right. Thank you guys. I'm so proud.
You get some too?
No, you can go. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all so much.
Bye, Libby. Ma'am, sorry.
Thank you.
Did you have a request? Or you leaving?
No, ma'am, I'll stay. Do you want me to go over this real quick or no?
That's up to you, whatever you need to do.
Okay, I just was gonna tell y'all, football, we're going into football, we have 67, 68 players signed up, we have 25 cheerleaders. That's the biggest cheerleaders we've had in a very long time.
That's great.
We have Tori, Wright, she works with me at the elementary school as a PE coach as well. She's taken over the cheer program. And she has a lot of good ideas, so I'm excited about that. We've got, I'm pretty sure every coach's background check is in. There is some that I have to look over to make sure, but, so we're going ahead with football. I let everybody know about flag football didn't make, and that they could come up here and see you.
Yeah, and you have a check in there for a refund. I've laid a couple checks over there,
Okay.
I think. And
Yes, I
also,
have to.
when you get the background, will you send them to me so I can file them?
Yes, ma'am. We started adult softball now. We were hoping for at least 2 teams. We now have 6.
Oh, wow.
There is 73 people signed up as of today. And we have our first scrimmage game on Friday, hoping if the weather permits. Along with that, I was gonna say it brought in around $1,700 and something. So we put it out there as to help cover some expenses for the guys to get to state. And I know I can do the 1,000, but they're wanting to get some really nice bags for them. And I was going to see if maybe the rec, since we did raise the 1,700, could do the 1,000 to help them get the nice rolling, like, uniform bags that the players will be able to keep for a while. But I wanted to present it to them as something from the city too, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't want to say the rec, I just wanted to say the city of Vernon went in and helped y'all.
What, can't we add some to that?
Like,
Well, I mean, we have it in, I can take it from rec, I can take it from general fund, it's there either way.
they've done a
And
phenomenal job raising
They
money.
have raised a lot of money, but if y'all want to, there could be some meals while they're down there that would be
Right.
paid for, or
Well,
something.
what I was thinking, maybe you're gonna spend the 1,000.
I wanted, yes, ma'am.
Why can't we match that?
That would cover the bags for every team player. Like, it's around $1,800 for their bags that they're wanting to get them. So if we could do that, like, that would be
So if
amazing.
you do 1,000 and the city does 1,000, is everybody agreeable with that? Would that work for you?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Michelle, that's not something we have to vote on, is it?
I would take a vote on that, yeah.
Okay. So we'll add that to number 10.
Number 10.
Thank y'all on behalf of them. Also, I was going to see if possibly I could use the space across from Miss Candace as like an office and storage space, because I like to be organized, and like I have stuff straight out at the house and stuff, so I was wondering if maybe, I don't know, I know it's unoccupied at this time, but I don't know like how y'all go about, if that's a possibility.
Okay.
And we could do the
Is there
record
already,
meetings.
we have an equipment room in use.
So they have the storage down here that they're using.
There is a pile of stuff.
the air doesn't work in there, and y'all, it stinks. It smells like football uniforms. I'm just throwing that out there.
I can use that, I mean,
Candace, what is that?
I have no, I don't even have a way to get in that,
What they have to take off?
in that room. I thought maybe they came periodically and utilized it.
No,
I don't
I
know.
don't think so. I don't think they.
But this
do.
little room right here,
Yeah.
she's just wanting the little tiny room in
Yeah,
front.
it's open, it's real nice, it's
It's the
painted,
one
it's
that,
clean.
the, Muskogee Creek.
Right, and that would be less, if you were gonna rent the other rooms out, that would be a lot less money.
Right.
Yeah, that's what, that's what.
Yeah,
that
and
little
we-
room, that little
and
room,
I
that's
would
what I was asking. Who's
be up
in
to
that
rent
room?
it. Nobody.
I didn't think so.
Used to be the teacher's lounge or something.
I don't have a problem
No,
with
but
it.
that's-
What
Sheriff,
house
you
resident
used to be
else
that way I could just keep everything up here and like, not have to bug Miss Candace so bad, and like, of course, she can get in when she needs. Like, I feel like I bug her every day.
She does not.
Well, it's not being used, and honestly, it's a very small room.
It is very small in there.
As far as a rental, I mean, I don't think we'd have made that much off of it.
It's just something to think about. I mean, I would greatly appreciate it. And then the other thing that I think is on everybody's mind is 4th of July. With them going to state, I will be going with them as my son, of course, is on the team, and I would like, I mean, this is his first time. I do have amazing people that I've contacted with. Miss Faith Baxley, she's over the middle school cheerleaders, her and Dominic, and I've talked with her, and they're going to run the concession stand for me. We're meeting tomorrow, hopefully, to go over the food and everything. That we're not gonna be cooking anything because we do have 4 food trucks.
At least 4. And another one got in.
Signed up.
Yeah.
Yes, do that. Signed up, so I was just gonna do like carnival foods like popcorn, nachos, cotton candy. We have the big machines, I wanna utilize them. I'm not gonna do, I think there is a thing in there talking about you can't like sell what they're selling or whatever, so I wasn't gonna do hamburgers, hot dogs because we have somebody doing that. Of course, we'll have candy, drinks, all of that stuff to make it kind of easier. But they're also gonna set up, they have a bake sale and raffle that they're gonna set up around the sportsplex. And then as far as like decorations and stuff, Tori, right, the lady I talked about doing cheer for the rec, her and her mom is gonna come up on Saturday because we don't know about storms and stuff, and use our decorations that we have. We have a pile of 4th of July decorations already up there. So we're meeting this week to go through all of that stuff too, just to see. So I am working on 4th of July. The one thing I had is the stage. Like, I know we had talked about that one time, does the city, they get the stage out there, right? We just decorate, or?
After we got all started last year, I'll get with Jason, he'll take care of the stage.
I think Joey helped.
Joey
maybe.
did it last year.
Yeah, they'll take care of the stage.
And I don't mind my dad, I mean, he said, my mom and dad said that they would help too if there was stuff that needed to be done that I couldn't. But I am working on it to try and make it a good one for everybody and enjoyable.
Okay, I have a question. I know that the concession is taken care of. We're having bounce houses, right?
You were supposed to send me a process.
You have to have the bounce house.
Yeah, I mean,
We were
if
talking about
I didn't want to solicit business for our business, so if
I'm
she
fine.
can't find anybody, I will give her a process, but I didn't feel comfortable.
Well, I don't think that.
We're in the works of having a bounce house.
Okay, well, my thing is, Candace, you know, are those manned by the company, or do they have to have a volunteer?
They usually have volunteers. I know, I did it the year that I was mayor, and we had one slide and one bounce house. And I only say they got to be manned because those kids will do somersaults going down the slide and they break their neck.
So you need volunteer to, some adults.
Somebody's gotta be like on your butt feet first,
Yeah.
kinda thing.
And if you
And a
can,
lot of the big kids, it's,
I don't.
They can be set side by side so that you're standing facing them.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
or so someone is.
okay. I'll work on that too.
Go get somebody.
Yes. And then that's all I really have. I'm looking at doing
Get somebody.
the baseball awards on July 15th. I've talked to Miss Candace about getting the community center just for the weather. We're gonna do it that afternoon at 6 p.m. For all those that can come, and of course, I'm gonna have trophies for our team. And then also, Tim is wanting to do like an adult field day at the track, like basically recreating everyone's elementary school field day. They will provide their own insurance. He's just wanting to utilize the old track for that day.
Is that what you're on public participation about?
I put it on there before I realized, I mentioned it to Nikki and kind of realized that it was a record.
So, like, the proceeds are gonna go to help with the
What day is that?
redoing
And you don't
the
have a
gym.
date yet?
The proceeds are gonna go to help redoing the city gym.
Yes.
So I'm
the
gonna
old
get
high
together with them
school
and
gym.
find something that they need, depending on what the money looks like. I mean, and we'll pick in that range of whatever money comes out of it on something that the rec needs, whether it be more lights for the gym or if we need assistance for the batting cage. I mean, it depends on how popular it is. Batting cage was a huge one at the flex, but I was gonna get together with her, pick
So
something.
I guess what I'm asking is all the money going towards rec or is it a partial?
I was gonna do a percentage, mainly because there's gonna be a lot of upfront cost on my part on making sure that I've got all the stuff that needs to be, that we need to do the games, and then the insurance, but I might be able to cover that with sponsors. So if I get sponsors and they can cover that, then yes.
So you're gonna provide event insurance beforehand. What day are you gonna do this or you don't know yet?
July 15th, it'll be Saturday, July 15th.
Time. You have a
10
time?
10 start time.
And
And
you
that's
don't
back
know
here.
what percentage you're gonna do yet?
I don't, until, like I said, sponsors, if I can get some sponsors that it's gonna be comfortable to pay for all my upfront expenses, then it'll help a lot.
He just asked me about using the space, and then I guess we were gonna talk about other stuff later. Also, I think that's all I have. Yes, that's all I have.
Okay, well, that's something that has to be voted on,
Right.
I believe, and our next voted meeting isn't until the 17th of July.
So we're working out the third.
She said you can vote on it tonight.
Yeah, we have a workshop on the third, but we can't
Third.
vote in a workshop.
Can't vote on it tonight.
Well, we don't know about it tonight. I think it needs to be discussed further. Right?
So are y'all interested in discussing it at the workshop with some actual numbers and then call a special meeting to vote on it?
That's what I would do.
At the same day.
Well,
Do a workshop and a special meeting the same day.
That's fine by me, I'm not
that's fine with me. You do it that
Are
way.
y'all agreeable?
Yeah.
So you can have
We'll
it,
have the workshop first, because we need to
Yeah.
know the
Yes, we'll have the
percentage. what we
workshop.
just vote.
and then go into the meeting? Okay, we can do that.
I'll find a date in August.
Left y'all.
Because
Excuse me?
I'll
I'll find a
give-
date in August.
That'll
if that's
give me
not-
more
it's not-
time
it's not gonna be
anyways,
enough.
more time to advertise
Okay,
it.
Yeah, I might have to do August, so I'll have to change the date. I don't know if that affects y'all's vote or not.
I don't
Well, that will
think-
give them time, that'll give us time to
I don't
discuss
think
too,
it
and
would
them,
affect, I think what everybody's wanting to know is
the
just the
percentage.
details and be able to discuss it and know more about the percentage. I guess that's my question
that's
is,
my question too. We just vote, we don't know.
so if you can,
Yes, I'll get the details and I'll come up with a new date.
okay, I appreciate it.
The softball, end of year softball is the 12th, if you're looking at August, just so you know. And softball is gonna run through August the 12th, sorry, I didn't put that on there. There'll be doubleheader games every Friday night, and there will be concessions open for every game, So we have 6 teams playing. We'll have 3 fields. One game will be at 6:15. One game will be at 7:30 every Friday night, except for not this Friday, next Friday, because we'll all be going to state. So starting July 7th at Friday nights, they'll have the adult softball games.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Nikki?
Doing a good job, thank you.
We
All right,
appreciate-
thank you.
Appreciate everything you're doing.
I'm trying.
Vendor lineup, I know you're gonna be gone, whoever's gonna be doing that, will they know where everybody's gonna be Saturday to line up for the?
Yes, ma'am. I'll have it
Okay.
marked, like, I ain't worried out if I'm gonna rope off or if I'm gonna spray paint
Okay.
where people need to go.
Okay, and is there, a couple people have asked about power out there?
We do have outlets out there.
Okay.
I'll make sure that they work.
So I don't know if the food trucks
Right.
need that or
Well,
not.
some of them have the own generator.
Some of them do, but I know one person
I
asked me,
think,
and you'll probably have another one coming in that I just sent, I think Friday, for a food truck.
it doesn't say that we'll offer electricity on this thing, but I do know that there are,
It also says we're gonna line up at 8 o'clock though, that morning, so that
yes,
was.
I'm calling
I don't think we ever
I'm calling
offered
each
electricity
vendor.
out there.
I don't know.
We
Yeah.
did years ago when we first put it out there.
They did, but
They
then they,
did.
not since I've been here, they didn't furnish it.
They did while I was here when they put all the electrical in out there.
Well, I don't know.
They did. But it was in with the slot price for the ones that needed electrical.
right. We will revamp these for next year, just cause there is some, like the start up at 8 AM and just different things like that, things I wasn't aware of. But yes, it doesn't say we'll offer them electricity, but I'm gonna call each vendor, probably tomorrow or Friday, just to make sure, and go over. I know some of them do not need electricity, but I'll call each
Most
of them.
of them will, but
It says that they're responsible for providing everything they need to set up, but I will call each of them, and make sure.
does anybody else have anything about rec for Ms. Nikki?
The community center was broken into through the gym. I can only assume at the basketball tournament this weekend, because all the outside doors are firmly secured. No, they had to have been inside the gym already to have busted through. Miss Mary found it today during the food bank, and they pried the locks off. There's nothing messed up. It's probably just kids being kids, but Jason is gonna, secure the double doors that were at the boys' locker room in, if y'all all remember down there. That window's busted out, so he's gonna plywood the window, and then we'll chain it from the inside, and then that keeps them from being, if they busted in again, they'd have to do it by the girls' locker room, and everybody would see them do it. Cause you know, that's kinda you go down the hallway and then turn again. So he's gonna work on that, but I wanted y'all to be aware.
And that was during the.
That's only, it really would have to have been, cause they didn't, there's no evidence of them busting into the gym or the community center from the outside, but they busted from inside the gym into the community center, so it had to be during the event.
But
What do they do?
we don't know
Just
anything
jam it?
missing
What
or
do they do?
damaged.
They
They just
Yeah.
busted a couple of locks, I mean, you can't see anything else.
No?
They may have wanted some alone time, I don't know.
Can I go one day and just look through all that? Cause I have no clue.
Yeah, you
Okay.
need to.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was aware of it today.
You've got a lot on, I understand. Okay, well, Ms. Nikki, I don't think we have anything else here. We appreciate the job you're doing. If you need to go,
Yes,
you're free to, or,
they're having their first softball practice out there, so I
yeah.
I'll make sure no adult gets hurt.
While it's not raining.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank y'all, thank y'all for everything,
Thank you.
and I'll just get with you. Okay. Thank y'all.
Mayor's report.
I want to tell everybody I appreciate the prayers. glad to be back. I still got a pretty good road. I was doing good till I caught pneumonia. And since I've had pneumonia since I've been on my back, laryngitis. One other thing, what was it called? Something else. So all I have to do is my breathing to get stopped up. But it's just, I've healed up good. Doctor give me a full recovery. Just got to get all this stuff out, cleared up, and all this will come out. I'll be back to, I don't know if I'll be back normal. I've never been normal, so
We're glad to see you back.
glad to be back.
Glad to be back, yeah.
I talked to Dale on today. Him and Jason were in Marion are looking at a septic receiving station. They're planning on putting here in Vernon. I asked Dale about Yellow Jacket Drive. He said it's ready for bid. And this bid is the kind that if we if our bid goes over what we have been allotted, we can go back to DOT. Don't mean you always get it, but we do have that opportunity to go back to the DOT on this type of deal. I was going, Jason, not here, so hit him up on a couple of things. I'll just give him the right work orders on it.
He did send a message that he was working on something he had to go out on, and they're basically doing the storm cleanup from the other day, and they're mowing the grass, starting to mow the grass now for the 4th, trying to get everything ready, but they're just doing storm cleanup. Friday was a lot for them.
That's all I got.
Well, we're all really glad to see you back.
Yeah.
I'll do my best to go up here and get with Candace tomorrow. But
But you still need to take it easy.
I'll take it easy.
Well, we haven't seen you to be able to get on to you, so give us a
Yeah,
minute.
because I don't have my switch with me today.
We want you
But I'll bring it.
healed
How to use it.
Who said it?
and back. And if there's anything that any of us can do, anything you need us to do, we'll do it.
We'll do it for you if you do it.
They will, I won't.
I'm good, you know.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Attorney report,
I don't have anything.
clerk's report.
Just a couple of things. I already told you about the community center. Chad has a lot on his hands with animal control. It's kind of gotten not out of control, but he is picking up a lot of animals. They charge us $57.50 per animal. So he's obviously way over his budget now for this year.
Can I say something today? I think people are putting dogs out.
They are.
I'm sure that they are.
One was at my door this morning trying to get in my house. He was determined to get in my house. And it was just a puppy, a cute dog, but I can't use a dog. And he's the cutest thing. I have a little fake dog on my patio. And I saw him in that corner, he was just going crazy. And I was like, is he barking at a snake or something? You know, I didn't know what he was barking at that little fake dog. And he broke my heart. He kind of got next to me. I said, but I can't use a dog.
Who charges $57?
The animal control and
But if
Chipley,
you go over there and, as just a person and.
they won't take them if you live in the city limits of Vernon.
Really? Okay.
So
So
Dad came and
we
got
had
them.
3 puppies this afternoon. They went up there to take the puppies. They were told can't take them because City of Vernon has animal control. So they drove back to Vernon and Chad met them and got the puppies. Well, Chad had to do the septic station and all of that today. So the puppies are housed in a little air conditioning area he's got fixed for them. But that's another thing. Some days he's working on real important
And he
city
can't.
things and he can't run a Chipley to
Right.
take these animals, so he needs kind of a little kennel set up or something for, for the animals until he can take them the next day. And then, are we just gonna keep spending $57.50, or are we gonna is there a way to put like a surrender fee. I think some people just decide they don't want their dogs and
I know, they
cats
just-
anymore.
Yeah, I thought.
I don't even know where the dog
Like
came
that.
from. Nobody near me.
We charge fee, the people are supposed to be charged when they go pick up their animal from there.
I don't guess anybody's picking them up.
This dog, I think it used to be
Right.
inside because.
So,
it was
I don't
all
think
my
people are
screen
going up there to
door.
pick these animals up. These animals aren't leaving.
No, somebody's putting them out.
But if we do have one that's, somebody wants back, they're supposed to pay a fee.
Yeah, at one point, I think it was, and I don't know how much the city was getting back of that, if they were getting all of it back, but I think when if the dog got picked up and it went to Chipley and they held it, when they went to get it, they had to pay 80-something or $100, I
It
think.
was over the $57, I don't remember the exact amount.
Okay, and then I think the city was getting part of that back.
But what I'm saying it though is that
It's not happening.
the animals aren't getting picked up in Chipley.
Well, this is what I'm saying. These
The
people took-
animals are,
Who was the 3 puppies belong to?
they were supposedly strays that wandered up.
Okay.
I have an opinion that I will not
I'm
give on YouTube. And,
Like, as an example, Dee's has all the cats, and I know that, they're not totally against the cats being there. A lot of us get them and get them fixed, but the people that have got the ALF now don't want them there. So the people who call you to pick up animals like that, they should have to pay.
That's why I said whoever had the 3 puppies should pay.
but at the same time, but
We
I'm
have to
just
have
gonna say,
something
as a citizen, if a cat shows up to my house or
I
a
know,
dog,
it's
and
not
I don't,
there.
it's not my cat or dog, should I have to pay $57.50 for you to take the cat? I don't agree, I mean, as a citizen,
But
I
that
don't
wasn't
agree.
my
No, I know,
dog
but
this
those
morning.
like-
Right, but that's what
And
I'm
the time
saying.
they picked up the cat, he was underneath my house and I didn't want him to die under my house. And so Chad came and set the trap for him because I mean, I could hear him nearing all night long. I was like.
Well, if we had something on the books, if it was a surrender,
Yeah.
I don't, they probably wouldn't mind paying for it. But
Paying half of it at least or something.
you're still gonna have the issue of somebody saying, well, it's a stray.
And that's what they're all saying,
Yeah,
even
because I think if
though,
you're gonna surrender
they're
it, you
not.
would take it over there anyway yourself.
Do you know how
But
much
that's
we're
what she's saying, they would take it.
spending on?
So you
I
got 3
have, I
strays
know
at
he's
one
been
time?
going up there a lot, I didn't
I mean,
think
3
to
puppies at one
print it out what it is, but he,
Somebody dropped them off.
I wonder if it might be worthwhile to look, as you're looking at your budget over the next year, to look into funding a TNR program or
Yes.
to catch animals, get them fixed and release them, or like in Jackson County, they have a voucher program, where they help lower income
does Big
folks
County.
to get their animals fixed.
Okay,
That might be
that's a
something
good
worth-
idea.
and that's what Chad just wanted me to go ahead and throw it out here so that we could start talking about it at budget time.
Okay.
And, also though, can he go ahead and get some kind of little kennel situation set up for
Talking about like a 10 by 10.
something that he can hold them in, so if he can't go that day and he has to go, the
Well, I
next day.
think that concrete pad out back, where they were using their stuff, there's a concrete pad out there that he could probably.
Yeah, but it's too hot for me.
Well, I mean, he's asking for a kennel of some sort, where's he plan on putting it?
I don't know, he's got those 3 puppies in the air conditioning, cause he's
Yeah.
he's the sap for all the animals that he picks up, so.
Cause he came and got that little puppy so grateful with this morning.
He's got that at his house, hoping somebody will claim it.
I know.
He
was-
hadn't took it up there
He
yet,
didn't take it yet?
not yet.
Oh, God. He's the sweetest thing, but I just
They
couldn't keep
know
him.
how much money they can spend, get them but can't put them in.
Well, I know they can spend up to $1,000, we just wanted to make sure that the council's
Yeah, I don't
okay
think,
with
what
that.
is it, Mr. Gary, those 10, like a 10 by 10 or something, they're not that expensive, are
He
they?
just would
He's
probably
got
need to
to
put
have
some
something.
Yeah,
some kind of roof or something over it, so that
Yeah.
the sun and,
That's what I said. If we
Okay.
got a roof.
yeah.
Well, then maybe we could just lay plywood on top of that.
And-
that would be like a
Even
roof
a
on top.
tarp, I've seen
And a
the
tarp or
tarps over
something.
it.
okay, so I'll let him know that tomorrow, the community center getting broke into, I already told you about. I haven't gotten anybody to call me back from FPL yet, so that they can meet me out here for the gym, but I haven't forgotten it. Our annual financial report is close to due, but our audit's not done because of the transfer from Banyan to QuickBooks. So I have talked to our accountant. Garrett came last week and stayed the entire day. And we made a little progress on one of the accounts, so it's very time consuming. But they're gonna have somebody, he emailed me that they're gonna have somebody working on it, right now, trying to get it finished, cause I have expressed how important it is that our audits be up to date. And that's not Josh, the guy that's doing the audit, that's not his fault. It's because I have not done the transfer because we didn't put QuickBooks on till March. And Miss Vicky had already left in March, so. And Garrett worked the entire day the other day and got a few hundred things put in, and that didn't even cover one account, so you can see how time consuming that is.
So have you talked to Lee about maybe?
Lee sent me an email today that they were sending one of their other employees is taking over getting it called up, so she and I'll be going back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, so, because we had to find out, we had to call Banyan to find out to run certain reports just to try to work it out. So it's tedious. But we are working on that. Carolyn is doing great at the job, so that's awesome. That thing is always filming, but will have to be out a little bit in September for a surgery. And I scheduled it so that I can do payroll and then it not, because payroll's every 2 weeks. So, and I have a cardiology appointment Thursday afternoon, this Thursday. I think it's an afternoon, but anyway, I'll be here up until then. That's all I can think of.
Thank you, Candace. And you've already given the public works report.
Yeah, he just is working on storm stuff and cutting grass.
Fire department report for the interlocal agreement.
Yeah, Michelle sent that to Shaq to look at. He said that he wants to sit down with a council, a commissioner, a county commissioner to go over numbers, before y'all fill in the numbers. When does that due, do you know?
They just want.
Okay.
Signed. It's been years, I guess, since we got that.
So they had, okay. And then he sent this, the next to last page of this, that's what I was running behind getting in here. It's the next to last page. He wants to know if they can send firefighter Mike Owens, which y'all know is Cowboy, a check for his daughter who was in a serious motorcycle accident and has been in the hospital for some time.
He wants to know if he can do it for the fire department.
Yeah, if the fire department can donate something
He has
to
a
them.
limit.
Okay. The trucks were tested and passed the pump test. There's a quote, I'm assuming in this, that's cheaper than the original one he had provided. Air packs were flow tested on the 15th and 16th and passed. The ice machine lease versus purchase, that's in here. And then, can they do boiled peanuts at the 4th of July celebration? And they usually do, right, anyway? Okay. And he had, at the workshop, he had presented some quotes to lease of, ice machine. And, Joey had asked him to get some quotes to purchase one instead of a lease.
So that's what this is.
Yes.
Looks like just one.
I see
The easy eyes quote. Or that,
I see.
I see. There's that staple put together.
There's one for 9,000, I think. I see. Oh, that's an invoice on the back that he just sent me today. I'm sorry. I just printed everything he sent me.
Yeah, I'm seeing
And
more.
I printed this, he sent it as I was doing this, so it looks like,
You're paying too much in rent fees.
these are all too much, is that what you said?
The rental fees are.
There's one for, is this 3354? Is that, okay. No, that's for a compressor.
Yeah, all of those pages are
This is for a piston and a
Diabetes
sleeve.
International Incorp. That's
Did we just see the one for 9,000? Is that the only quote?
compressor.
That's the only one I see.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
You buy a new ice machine around,
Mm.
a good ice machine around, it was $4,000.
I'll tell them to get some more quotes on that.
Right here, I think there's a bin, you can buy them separate, there's a bin down there in the pole barn. Just have to make sure the head matches it, they'll charge you $800,000.
Just for the bin? I see the bins are separate.
I don't know what this, other one is for. Is that for the,
It's $9,000.
talking about compressors and pistons, so I don't, hang on just a
The
minute.
last one that's for something else. In the back there, that's different than the ice.
Yeah, that's for
Something else.
But I don't know if it's something that they've got to have right
air
now.
compressor. Compressed air engineering.
Yeah, that's not ice machine.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what it's, I don't know if it's something that they need desperately, I'm not sure. I just sent him a text, maybe he'll see it. He's working tonight. And that, what was his other thing? Oh, hang on, Cascade quote for repairs on both units. I don't know what the units are, so I'm sorry. That's what he's talking about.
Okay, so you don't know, and we don't know.
I've sent him a text, he may answer back, but
If not,
he sent this right as, after 5, and I just printed it and brought it in here, so I'm not sure what it's for.
It will, if not, we'll just have to put it on the.
It's to
workshop agenda.
it's to refill our air bottles, we have a stationary unit and a portable unit to haul to the scene.
That's 335453.
Mm-hmm.
So are they empty or surely not?
I just messaged back.
And this quote is good until August 5th.
He said it's been down for 2 months and they're having to go to Chipley or Mariana to fill their bottles.
And there's just the one quote,
Yeah.
and out of Mexico City, Mexico Beach.
I asked if he has more than one quote. Doug, did you know this would be so exciting tonight?
Look, I've sat through hundreds of hours of these
Okay.
meetings over the years, so it's perfectly fine.
give that man a job.
So they just need to get more equipment around.
I just asked if he had more than one, but he's typing. Do we need more than one quote for that amount of money? 3,500 or something.
Was that a yes or a no? I couldn't hear.
I gotta look it up.
Okay, it says they already approved the other one before, just trying to save some money.
Talking about the rental,
About getting the
yeah,
air bottle
Oh, yeah.
units filled. Is this cheaper? Cause I don't remember.
Well, I don't remember us approving it, or he had already been using it, wouldn't he?
I guess he waited.
I get it when you find out, if you remember when it was approved. I think this one is cheaper, you won't say it, go with cheaper. It's already been approved.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I was kind of taken aback with it, to know that it's been down for 2 months and they've been going to Chidley. So I don't recall approving it. I'm not saying that we didn't, but
Under $5,000. I think it's 2 written quotes.
So this will be the second one then, if he already had one. And Nikki just also messaged and said that she forgot about that big check, and so.
okay, well, while y'all are thinking about this, let me go ahead and get to that because we discussed this before. This, equipment was ordered from Almega Sports before it was brought to our attention in the amount of $11,722. There was some discussion when we found out about it at the meeting that I made the statement that I may not possibly sign this check. I mean, that, it was ordered, the stuff's been passed out, but we didn't know about it. We weren't asked about it, nothing. It's my understanding, and Candace, correct me if I'm wrong, since that, they have fundraised.
I don't have the exact amount. I know that we've had a $5,000 donation come in, multiple $250 and $500 donations. So I would say they're at least up to 8,000, but I could get, I mean, I can look at the deposit slips for the exact.
So, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but this was done by a prior rec director, not the current one. But they need their money. So what I'm asking council is because
we gotta pay it.
I mean, I was really, really upset when I found out about it and, you know, wasn't gonna sign it. But since the money has been raised almost,
I would say
all of it.
they've got around 32,000 in their account. And the Omega has been very kind because we've since ordered, like they had to have the district uniforms and all those things, and they've done them even with us with $11,000 bill sitting there.
yeah, so I just want to, you know, for y'all to say it's okay for me to sign this check before I hand it to Gwen, because if the money had not been raised, or most of it, I wouldn't sign this check. I would make it.
But see, the only thing
It would be
is, it's on the city of Vernon.
Well, that's what I understand, but you know how upset we all were when we found out that
We
was
don't pay our bills. The city of Vernon don't pay their bills.
I just wanted to put that out there before I sign.
I guess we have to sign it, pay the bill.
That's up to Ms. Jean.
Okay, and Shaq says that, okay, so that covers both the units, is what he was saying, and it had already been approved, I guess. It's cheaper doing both of them than it was just to do the one.
Okay, so is that something we need to vote on, or it's already been done?
I don't remember y'all actually voting
I'll
on
have
that.
to pull, I'd have to pull,
I would say in abundance of caution, just go ahead and add it to this time.
So should we just discuss this at the workshop?
He was at
Well, I mean, if they're driving to Chipley for their air tanks, that's the only thing.
So how?
So if we've got 2 quotes though, we're safe to vote on it.
But
Can you
they
ask
would-
him when it was approved, when this happened? Since he's the only guy that remembers it.
Yeah. He comes out here so much to make you know this is. So he's coming back. Ready to get Danny going.
Okay, and one more thing, this is kinda off, but Candace, you had an addendum, to the agenda on account 1011-004, where
Yes,
somebody was charged for 2 cans for
39 months.
nice. The amount is $713.31 that this person's been overcharged. We need to refund her money. Is that something that we have to vote on, Michelle, or can we just agree to have that done? She's overcharged.
I would put it on the record.
So vote on that one.
And what is it?
Number 11.
She called 39 months ago to have her can replaced because it was busted. And they just added another can to her bill instead of
Taking the old one.
taking the old one. And the old one is there upside down busted, but she couldn't use it because it was busted. And I promise you that James, the guy that picks up the garbage, he don't pick up unless it's on his list. And
Right.
he's only been picking up 1 can all this time.
Okay, I've added that
So-
as number 11. And
What
this
happened,
been
she
going
called
for
about a leak and I started going through her account and that's,
39 months. Wow.
yeah, I went back and counted them.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
It would have been pretty bad.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay. All right, so where are we at, guys, with this, with fire department?
Let me see if he said anything else. Okay, here's the quote. It was,
It's okay.
the portable unit quote that, the portable unit, not for both units, was $3,046.50. And the quote for the other does both. For 30, whatever it was, 33.
Okay, so basically, we probably got the quote and maybe didn't vote on it, and that's why he waited so long? I'm confused.
I actually think that we did vote on this 2 months ago, probably, at least a month ago, because I sent him a text that said you got to go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, you definitely would wanna vote on that if you're gonna change the vendor.
Even if it's cheaper?
Yeah, what she's saying is, if we want to go with this cheaper quote that he's requesting, then we have to vote on
Vote it
that.
again.
So,
Oh my God.
Number 12.
It would be all night.
Wait, what was 11?
refunding this
lady.
board.
Okay.
Return the money.
Okay. Alright, so we've got all that squared away. And Candace, I guess I'll go ahead and ask, since we're kinda all over the place, this other check. It's got somebody's number on it, there's nothing in here about.
Right,
what
it's, she is one of the flag football parents,
That did get.
Yeah.
Okay,
and they've just been coming in. They found out that flag football didn't they didn't have enough kids to do flag football, and they've just been coming in to get refunds.
okay.
So that's the second one. I'm not sure how many there are.
Okay. discuss it? Okay. Public participation has already been taken care of. So at this point, if nobody else has anything on what we've been talking about, I'm going to call the public hearing to order. And this public hearing is for an ordinance of the city of Vernon, Florida, establishing the prohibition of medical marijuana, cannabis, low THC cannabis, and derivative products, treatment center dispensing facilities within the boundaries of the city of Vernon, as authorized by the section 381-986 Florida statutes, providing for legislative findings, providing for moratorium, contingency, providing for penalties, providing for repealer, severability, and modifications that may arise from consideration at public hearings, providing for codification and effective date. Does the public have anything to say on the matter of this ordinance?
Do not.
That being said, I will close the public hearing. And number 2, do I have a motion to approve ordinance 23-235?
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
I second it.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ordinance approved. Number 3, approval of the waste management contract. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second? Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Number 4, approval of no sick days gym contract. Do I have a motion to approve?
I thought we take that on.
Are you asking to have it removed to the workshop?
Yes. Yes.
You wanna put it at the workshop?
Ms. Mary, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4 has been moved to the workshop. And number 5, it's already been discussed, we can remove that. Number 6, the garbage overcharge refund, which we've just discussed, so that is the one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then, we don't,
So we approve.
we take it off of 11, I'm following it, so, do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve it.
Second,
Second.
discussion, all in favor? Aye. Number 7 is me, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I've thought about it, and we have a vendor, a food vendor for the 4th of July celebration that puts on, it's, Mr. Andrews with Smoking Butts Barbecue every year for I don't know how long.
13, 14 years. 13
Yeah,
years.
okay, you know what I'm going with. He puts on, him and his family put on a Thanksgiving dinner for the community, not just the city of Vernon. People come from all over the community every Thanksgiving day, every year, and he provides everything at no cost. And he feeds a multitude of people for free. And it's just a small token in my opinion, because I think the food truck vendor fee is like $150, but I would like to see that waived
Yeah.
for him.
Okay.
If the rest of the council's agreeable with that.
I make a motion, we waive that fee.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
That's nice, Vicky.
I don't, okay. And now, I don't know if he's, if
He hasn't
they
paid
paid
yet.
already?
He mailed his, he was the first one we had.
Okay,
He
will
told
you
me he
just,
had not paid.
He paid it, but I can just do him a check back.
will you just contact him and let him know that we really appreciate what he does every year for the city, and that was just a small gesture. Okay, thank you.
And he's also sent 3 of the 4 food vendors that are signed up. No, I think there's gonna be 5. The other 3, he sent them to sign up.
Wow. Super.
But he's bringing in more people to compete against him at the thing, but he wants a big show for Vernon.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I know that, $150 isn't anything to him. I just thought, as much as he does for the city,
Yeah.
that it would be a nice thing to waive his fee for that.
so she's on that.
Okay, so we voted on that, right?
Yes.
We did vote on it.
Listen, my
It's
scribbles.
yeah, it's turned into.
Yeah, okay, number 8, do I have a motion to advertise, to put out bids for the Yellow Jacket Drive that the mayor, told us about during his report?
Yes.
Yeah, I make a motion that we put out the bid for
Do I
Yellow
have a
Jacket Drive.
second?
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Can I, just real quick, this is different than the federal grants, being the DOT grants. If I can't find a, already acceptable one to go, because I don't want it to get messed up, can I ask Michelle for help in drafting that if needed?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to see something else wrong, okay?
Number 9, Miss Mary Porteous.
Okay, so I don't know how this works exactly, but there's a piece of property there at the blinking light. It's a trailer park, but it's not maintained, and I know one of the power poles fell over and it's been propped back up, and one of the big trees fell and almost hit one of the houses, and there's 2 trees that need to be cut, because when they fall, they are going to fall on someone's house. So I get the whole private property thing. It belongs to somebody, but I think whoever owns this piece of property needs to be notified that he has to take some kind of action.
Where is it, Lincoln?
Yeah, that whatever that trailer park there on the corner. It's bad enough how they live, are forced to live, that he won't do minimal maintenance on that. Those 2 pine trees, when they fall, they're gonna fall on somebody's house. There's kids that live in that house. So I thought maybe we could ask the lawyer to write up a letter that says, hey, you need to do due diligence here.
But we don't have any, we don't have any, just put
We
the
don't
stand
have
down.
anything on an ordinance about that or anything. and
Nothing.
That's gonna fall under
Code enforcement.
code
that we don't
enforcement
have.
or an ordinance that's unenforceable is the issue.
Gosh,
Am I right, Michelle?
You're right.
We don't have any.
there's not anything that you can say to this person to,
I mean, you can ask
Ask
them
them
nicely
kindly.
to do something about it, but as far as, if you're asking me to send something, I need to be able to back it up with legal authority and
Yeah,
be able
otherwise
to
we
enforce
put
it.
the city of Vernon itself at risk.
I can make a call to someone about that.
well, I had 3 different people from that park talk to me today about how awful it is that he won't do even minimum. And they pay some outrageous rent.
Well, they should
That's
move
a
out.
civil matter.
Where are they gonna go
It's
with?
Well,
not,
well, that's what they, if you was, I'm telling you, if you listen to Judge Judy, she'll say, why you move out? That's
Miss
what
Mary,
she
I
thinks.
understand your concern. I understand what you're saying,
So you
but
need to-
unfortunately, the city, under the guidelines that we have and don't have in place, if the city was to even send out a letter, then we put the
That's
city
a
of Vernon
violation.
wrong.
Well, that answers that question. So
So it's a civil matter for
Okay.
them to pick the tenants.
Well, the people that live there now, they could file a complaint against them. You
Yeah.
know, they are the ones that, the people that you told you that, then they should file a complaint against them.
Okay, so we'll move on to another thing. Back there, those tennis courts and the basketball court, I know that I'd asked about a year ago about fixing those up a little bit, and I would buy nets for the tennis courts, and something about the school was gonna use them, but nobody's ever done anything, and they're still, so I would really like to go back there and see what we can do toward fixing it up, and we have the kids that are coming around all the time, and if Trey does that thing with the indoor thing, I mean, that area back there could really be utilized.
Well, and we discussed grants, but
We can't get one right because of the way it's.
we've got to get, and I'm
It ain't
trying to-
right.
We have, Michelle, we have to get the county to, or the school board, there's
The
something to
deed
do
is not
with the
right.
deed
The
that's
deed
not
is
right.
not right, something about the deed.
So for the bird out grants, the school board's not allowed to have any interest in it, but they still do.
So we would need to ask them to not, and they don't use it, the school doesn't use that,
No.
and they haven't.
And I think
We
though, what
don't.
Miss Mary is saying, that she'll put in the elbow grease and buy the thing, she just wants to know if that's okay with the city.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, well, I thought, because we have the new rec director, I could say, You know, you don't wanna leave the net and stuff out there, cause it'll be gone the first day. So if we can do a thing where you have to sign it out, but you can sign it out for free. I just thought there was a lot of possibility for some of the kids to come and play tennis or.
What happened to the FSU? What happened to FSU? At one point, FSU awarded all new equipment to replace the nets and Lori Kozinski, whatever her name is, that teaches at Vernon.
She never got back with us about any of that.
I did reach out to her a while back and I didn't hear back about it.
Well, it's not about her. It's about the guy. He's the tennis coach at FSU. Is the one that was.
But he was doing it through her. When she brought it to us, was my understanding. So maybe we could get his contact information from her.
Well, they can't have but one tennis coach at FSU. I'm just
I was
thinking.
gonna say, yeah, we could just call directly. That'd be great.
I'll reach out, that's fine, I can call,
Well, it's worth a try.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just stuff out there that's begging to be used. And I
There
think,
used to be a net and stuff back there
And
when they first
we've
left
talked
here.
about this, I would love to see, park benches and some lighting,
Yes.
to be able to get grants. So what would we need to do, Michelle, in order to, I don't think that the school board would have any issue.
No, I want to think we had started
you
discussing.
had started with it,
Yeah.
okay, so the final thing would be the big pile of dirt that supposedly got approved to be moved. And I think they took 2 scoops out of it and it's still sitting there.
I believe that has to do with the fact that
The road is
the
washed
road
out where it's going.
has not been able to be fixed where it's going to. Jason reported on that, and I went and looked at it.
Right. So I found a couple of people that said they'd take that dirt.
Well, there's been people that, we put out public notice that anybody that wanted dirt could go get it. I've seen tractors and
Right.
even my husband just went and got it and filled holes and stuff.
Okay.
So, but we do need to find out from Jason about that, because I know there was a holdup, but I don't remember what it was. County can do it, but they can't get their trucks back there to where it's gonna go. But the road by the sewer plant, I can't call the name of it right now. But the road by the plant is undermined to the point that
It's Sasser.
Oh, okay.
Sasser,
Wow.
that's right.
Yeah,
It's bad, I went and seen it.
yeah. I just know that being over at the church and seeing all the traffic that goes over there and the people that use the track and go, the benches would be so great. And
Yeah.
buy a couple of trees, I mean.
Well, if Michelle can get that worked out where we can get their name off the deed, then we can apply for grants to do
boy.
all kind of stuff
Okay.
out there.
Yeah.
Have you found out anything else about the grant at the sportsplex on that title? Or-
Okay, is that all you had, Ms. Portis? Okay, number 10, can I have a motion to match Rex $1,000 for the teen bags that was requested by the rec director earlier?
I make a motion to approve.
I second that motion.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, number 12, I have a motion to approve the new quote for the air that the fire chief submitted in the amount of $3,354.53.
I make a motion that we accept that bid.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Is there anything else?
Do you forget waste management?
Did she?
Yeah, we approved it. We approved it
You voted for it.
way back.
I've been here this long, I just wanted to see the end.
Number 3.
I know, I
Number
said,
3.
I said, because I kept saying, did she skip to me?
No.
And he
You
said
voted on
that,
it.
and he said nothing, and then I was like, did you skip to me?
No, admit it, we're riveting.
I wanted to see how it turned out.
Okay, so if nobody else has anything and I've not missed something that I've added, can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?